Welcome to Bite Size Dental Marketing. Today I have Jenni Poulos. Jenni's the lead practice coach and director of marketing at Act Dental, and I've, obviously got to be in the same physical space with you a couple of times in Milwaukee, and I loved the energy you bring. And one of the things that I've always been, every time we go to Act, that I leave away, I hate to say jealous, but like aspirationally jealous, I'll say too, is
Aspirationally jealous? Nice.
aspirationally jealous. Yes.
Okay.
Is how kind and wonderful you all talk about each other,
Yeah.
and how you and the team at ACT just exude the culture. And we've developed a little company crush. So it's
Oh,
kind of
well,
funny
right
when
back
we
at
come.
you. Right back at you,
Yeah.
Eric.
But I'd love to hear your origin story.
Yeah.
I know you were turning over rooms and pouring models at 12, but how
I
did
know, it's
you?
crazy. I try, for people that have been in dentistry their whole lives, you try to
Mhm,
escape it, but you just can't. It's the
mhm.
family curse that you love, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to be here with you today, and I would say every time that the ACT team has had the opportunity to spend time in the same space, give you a hug, share a drink, share laughs, I leave with a full heart and sore
Mhm.
cheeks from smiling and laughing. And just like you, the secret sauce is the people, right?
It
That's
is. It
that is what
is.
it is. The secret sauce is surrounding yourself with people that share your values, believe the same things that you
Mm.
believe, and truly believe in this goal of helping people create a better life. And that's what we want to do, and it's what you want to do. And um, I I tried really hard to not be in the dental world. Actually, my dad is a periodontist. My brother is a periodontist. My mom is a hygienist. So since I was a little kid, my summer jobs, I was pouring models and turning rooms and making appointments in an appointment book with pencil. Working down in the dirty storage room with paper charts and shredding them. And I grew up in this world, and as I left for a little while and entered the film industry, and I learned a lot about people and story and communication, and that sort of skill set transitioned as I came back into the dental world temporarily to help my dad in his office, which was 25 years ago. So I've temporarily been back in the dental industry for about 25 years. And one day, a practice that we worked with said, "Hey, you gotta find out about this ACT company." And they came into my practice and helped us become better, helped us identify some of the gaps that we had, become better leaders, become better
Mhm.
communicators, and build a culture that we really cared about. And I kept up my relationship with my coach, and eventually, a few years later, had the opportunity to become a part of the ACT team. And now I get to do the same thing. I get to go into practices and help people realize what they already have in them,
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
and bring it out so they can have better, more fulfilling days, just filled with joy. We still have hard days, but days that are less stress so we can enjoy those moments in life.
Hmm.
I feel so lucky that I get to do what I get to do, really.
Now, as you were talking, I had this thought. I want to run it by you. I think I believe this, but I'm kind of testing my theory. I believe 20 to maybe even 10 years ago, if you were a great clinician, you could be a average, maybe below average leader and still run a great practice. I think today you have to be a good or better leader. I think it's flipped, right? Like
Yeah.
I think you have to. I think you used to just be a good clinician, and the world was simple enough. The patient experience was not as high a bar as it is today. The teams didn't have the expectations they have today. The labor market was, I mean,
A
many
lot has
factors, a
changed.
lot of
Yeah.
change.
Hmm.
But now we've had this almost reversal of you have to be a good leader, run a good operation. And I'm not saying you should be an average clinician, but I think you would. I think you could probably have the opposite of, if you're a great leader and average clinician, I think you could run a killer office. But if you were an amazing clinician and an average leader, I think that you would just be an average office. What are your thoughts on that paradox?
I think that that's true, actually. What people are looking for, the experience that the average consumer is looking for, has changed, and it's evolved, and we're looking for meaning and relationship and connection, and we want that in all parts of our lives. And patients don't leave your practice because the margins weren't great on your crown. Patients leave your practice because the experience was not what they were hoping. The relationship, the trust, the value wasn't at this higher bar that we've set. And at ACT, we like to say, as go the leader, so goes the team. Mm-hmm. And really, in order to differentiate yourself, to create this experience for your patients, you have to be a leader that's able to establish a culture within your practice that is relational and not transactional. So people on the phone feel something a little bit different. People walk in the door and say, hey, there's something going on here that I like. I maybe am not sure what it is, but I like this and I trust these people. And if you want a solid leader with solid values that know what's important and why it's important, and you're able to communicate with that team, get them aligned and sort of have everyone rowing in the same direction, mm-hmm. you're really not able to execute as a team at this high level and achieve the sort of success that maybe you could in the past, with that just good dentistry.
Mm-hmm. Even the way the teams talk about each other, and that was one of the things I mentioned earlier that Andre and I took away from. And I'm going to go back to just meeting you and the ACT Dental team. The first time we met, we were left with this very strong impression of they must be good coaches. They must really care about their people. Mm-hmm. And it was solely, and again, I believe those things to be true, but keep in mind, I'm talking about like when I didn't know it to be true. I was left with the impression of it because of how kindly you spoke about each other, because mm-hmm. of how the team engaged. Oh my gosh, Kirk isn't he the best at this? And oh my gosh, Jenni did this. And it gave you this impression that because everyone was so well connected, or seemingly so, you of course had to make this leap that they were amazing at their job.
Yeah.
And I think that's the connection that happens in good teams, is even if you don't have evidence of maybe the quality of the work, you come from a place of positivity.
Yes.
These are amazing people. And if they're amazing people, they must be amazing at their job. And that's the part about culture that I love, is I believe that patients and clients or just the general population comes into it with this like positive mindset.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, like this is the gem, the thing you want to write down. It's called positive priming. And if you want to teach your team one thing that you can talk about today that's impactful, that they can walk away with, it's this concept of positive priming. So we tell someone how amazing the experience is going to be, how incredible the person that they're going to meet is before it happens. Now at ACT, this is a real thing for us because we all know, see, believe every day, based on the trust that we have, predictive and vulnerability based, how incredible our team is. Mm-hmm. But for your dental team, this concept of positive priming on the phone, Dr. Poulos, you're going to love him. He's a great clinician, but even a better person. You called the right place, right? Sally's going to come up and grab you in a few minutes. Oh my gosh, she's so incredible. She's going to take perfect care of you, right? Megan is the best hygienist. I love her. Oh, you're in great hands. It's the concept is called positive priming. Ritz-Carlton are great at this. Before they will book your room, they tell you how amazing it is, right? So they're creating in our minds this already positive, amazing experience before it's begun. So the neurons are firing and we're thinking like, this is great. There's something really great about this place and these people. And the patients feel, right, ooh, they really love each other and they take care of each other. I bet that's going to translate to me.
That's right. We make that positive leap into the patient care.
Yeah.
Because
It's an easy skill that you can teach people that's very impactful.
you nailed it. A rank and file, just normal consumer does not understand good dentistry from bad dentistry.
No,
They understand how you made them feel and if they were in pain or not.
I
The
believe
end.
70% of people that leave a practice will do so because of something relational, right?
Hmm.
Sally up front didn't remember Joe's birthday,
Hmm.
or I was uncomfortable when we talked about my bill, or doc didn't remember this. Pain is another one, but they're not leaving because of bad dentistry.
Well, and in fact, there's empirical evidence on that.
Yeah.
When you look at in totality, the number of negative reviews that a practice, across our entire portfolio, north of 80% are billing or
Oh,
experiential in nature.
mm-hmm.
Very few clinically bad reviews.
Yes.
I mean, very few.
And typically at that point, it would be something very egregious.
Yeah, very few bad clinical reviews. They were almost always someone had a bad day, staff or patient.
Sally was rude.
Uh-huh.
Dang it, Sally.
Made leaps that I didn't,
Mm-hmm.
something. Yeah, but and billing, is by and far
Mm-hmm.
the vast population. But when you think about it in those terms, it puts the patient experience and at the forefront. And I've heard Kirk and Baird and your team talk about this. Well, I agree that if I'm getting treatment, it is in large about the dentist,
Mm-hmm.
but the team has so much from beginning to end, from the answering the phones to confirming the appointments to greeting me at the door to the hygiene work to checking me out and those things. I am engaging with the team significantly more time than I am with the dentist. And it needs to cascade down to them in that positivity.
Yeah. And culture helps breed that, right? When I come to work to a great positive culture, I want to show up for my doctor and my team, and I want to take care of people. And when I understand the why behind being there, I'm more apt to do that as well. And it's important for team members to understand how impactful they really are in all of these transactions. And each time that we communicate with a patient, that those touch points are opportunities for us to build relationship and to build value. You know, admin team answering the phone, they're answering 50, 60, 70, 80 calls a day. Who
Mhm,
knows?
mhm.
But that patient that's calling, they're making that phone call once a year
Once,
for their maybe
mhm.
once in 15 years.
That's
Right.
right.
So we need to think about that it for us it's rote and it's the thing we do over and over and over. But for that patient, this is a one-time thing and they may be nervous or scared.
Mhm.
So, what can we do to bring a higher level of customer service and comfort to those people to make them feel like it's the right place?
Now, when you say that, that leads to my next question. What is your dream engagement to help a practice? Like, I love it when practices are here and then we can get over here.
So, I'm going to back up. Our motto, ACT's motto, is better practice, better life. We exist. We believe that dentists are at their best, teams are at their best. We are at our best when our worries are at our least.
Mhm.
So, and we live and breathe that. So it's about creating aligned, smart, and healthy teams that can operate efficiently with predictability and productivity. So our days are better in the practice because when they're better in the practice, they're better at home. When we leave without our cup fully depleted, we're able to enjoy the moments at home. And for me, that's the best. I love working with practices and helping them get clarity around their operations and their roles and responsibilities. And there's all of the business structure,
Right.
right? Helping them figure it out and create the smart things. The real moments, though, come in helping people learn to be better communicators, realize the things that they didn't know that they could do that was
Mhm.
already inside of them. And when I can work with a practice and they are able to create these efficiencies inside of their walls, create a culture that allows them to show up for the people that are important in their lives outside wholly themselves, that is the thing that kills it for me. I worked with a doctor, still work with him. We've been working together for 4 or 5 years, and he was just exhausted. And we needed to work through the business and get some systems in place and identify kind of his values and what were important to him. And it was hard work, and we trudged through that. And he felt like he was missing his life. And at the end of our first year, he sent me a text message and he said, "You know where I am right now? I am at first base coaching my son in baseball." And to date, that is my favorite text that I have ever received from a client, because he was able to change his hours. He had these efficiencies. He could leave the practice and leave it at 3 o'clock and go coach baseball and be with his son. It's my favorite moment. So I want you to get it together inside the practice walls so your life soars outside.
That reminds me of a book I read, and it was really good, but it's called The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life, and it's written by a South African by the name of Boyd Vardy. But he has a quote in there that was my takeaway of the book, and it said, the man who loves the walk will go further than the man who loves the destination. And, as you talk about happy life and being happy in the practice and being fulfilled, like that, paradoxically, not focusing on that, the quality of your life, the quality of the people around you's life will lead you to greater success.
Absolutely.
Over just focusing on, I want to be a $2 million practice, or I want to be a $3 million practice, or I want to have 3 associates working for me. All of those are means to an end, not.
Yeah.
But if you can enjoy the walk and enjoy the quality, that is what leads you to success.
Yes. And we coach businesses, and it's important that we're attentive to the business. But if our life is our business, to what end, right? And I fully believe you do the right thing, you create the culture, you support the people, the profits come. And we have to be attentive to that. And also, when we're not so stressed with really all of the things that can eat up our every day with team and bad culture, we're actually able to say, like, hey, I'm going to have some intentional time focusing on business and things that I need to do. And you're able to do that in a way that you can really be intentional about that time when you're at work and let it go. It's a great thing when someone can say, my life is better now, and I've realized what's important, and I have amazing relationships with my team and my patients and my family. And I leave at the end of the day feeling like I have more to give.
It's a rare person that is at that place today. I mean, most of us are somewhere on this spectrum of, oh my God, I hate my life, I hate my job, and I'm showing up because I have bills to pay too. I lead a better life than I deserve, and I'm so satisfied. What are the indicators, or how do you help someone make that evolution, or someone who's listening to this like me, that sounds great. I wish I could get there someday, right? Like, how do you go from where I am today, feeling trapped? I feel like I'm, maybe I'm trapped by my team. Maybe I can't grow my practice. How do you go from here to there, so to speak?
Sure. The first step is really sort of a reflection and deciding what is truly important to me and where do I want to go. Oftentimes people don't think through what they want. They think about maybe what they should want, but not what they actually want. What do you want your legacy to be? What's important to you? When do you find yourself smiling? And nailing that down and sort of getting some clarity around that vision for your life then helps us, think of it's like a triangle or a pyramid. We build that foundation, that base, when we think about really, what do you want? Not what did somebody else tell you that you should want? What do you really want? And from there, okay, what are your values? What are the things that are important to you? Why are you doing what you do? What is the meaning behind it? And when we can build that strong foundation of those things, then we're able to really get clear trajectory and path for how we get there. And you start to then surround yourself with the right people, because you know what those values are, and you communicate them. So you attract people that believe in the same things as you. And all of the sudden, this wheel starts turning and things start changing a little bit. And what once seemed like it was just so far out of reach, all of the sudden starts to come into view. And then we obviously there's systems, and we do implement operational systems that help you really with smart goal setting and planning, and quarterly pulses that help us work with how adult brains work and
Right.
getting things done. So there are organizational systems that go behind this that help us implement it. But that piece comes, that's a layer 3 pieces up.
Right. Right.
So it's getting clear on the why
Mm.
and the values that helps us say, where do we actually really want to go?
What you're describing, I call the smashing pumpkins problem. Like, and I say this, when I was in college, the Smashing Pumpkins were huge, and all my friends loved them, and I really wanted to love them, and I felt like I should love them. And I bought the CDs and I did all the things, but like I could, truthfully, Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins were just not my jam. I didn't like them, but I really wanted to, and I felt like I should, and I had this like almost like this imposter syndrome, because I was like
Yeah.
the only person that didn't like them. And Andre and I have a flavor of that. We see agencies that are 16 million, 20 million, or whatever. Some numbers significantly higher than us, and we're like, oh my God, like we need to get there. Or I see someone taking DSOs.
Mm-hmm.
We need, oh my gosh, we should get DSOs, the consolidation in the market and things like that. What are some of the common things that dentists repeat or say they want that they, in fact, doesn't give them joy, right? I mean, comparison's the enemy of joy. What are some
Absolutely.
of the common things that dentists think they want?
Growth is a big thing right now. Thinking I need to expand my operatories. I need more operatories. I need more locations. Right. I just need to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
there's
they're getting that from I mean, because consolidation's happening, and that's what DSOs are doing, right?
the market has changed. Things have shifted
Mm-hmm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
world of insurance, and it looks different for private practices. And I think people are reaching for this gross number and not actually looking at their net number or their true profit, because
That's
it's
right.
just like, I'm going to hit this number. If I become a $2 million practice, if I'm producing $2 million, that'll be great. And they're not attentive to all of the things that are bleeding out the back end on the way. And they just think like, if I just need to hit 2 million, I just need to hit bigger. And a lot of people are thinking about expanding capacity. I need more hours, I need another op, I need another location, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll get there. When is enough, and what do you want your life to look like? And do you actually know what it means to have 2 locations? Do you actually know what it means to have more operatories?
To
Um,
recruit, to constantly be recruiting to locations.
Bigger
I mean, all the
team,
things, all the
yeah,
problems. Yeah.
a bigger team is not necessarily easier to manage, right? You got just a few people, your little family unit, and you have 4 or 5, and then 7 or 8, and then
Mm-hmm.
10 or 12,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have a leadership team, and you have leads, and it becomes more complicated. And this is not to say that growth is a bad thing.
Right.
I think that growth is an amazing thing. I also think that it must be intentional and smart, and with a true goal in mind, not growth for growth's sake. And I think
That's right.
that's where docs get in trouble. They think, I just need to grow because I need to grow. I need to compete with the DSOs. I need to get that bigger number.
Mm-hmm.
I need to expand my hours. And I'm going to say, no,
I
become
agree.
more efficient. Like, let's look at, you can do all of this in less operatories with less hours, um, by increasing efficiencies. And it's just not intentional. Like, like it once was, maybe.
No, growth for the sake of growth, candidly, it's a very immature emotion. It just, growth should be an outcome of something, not a goal in of itself. And that's tough to teach. I mean, that there's an evolution in there that, because I fall victim, I find myself cyclical in this thought of like, I want to grow because my, company's expenses have increased, or because I've had
Hmm.
a downturn, or whatever the case may be. And then I start chasing growth, and then I start making deals that I shouldn't make, or whatever. And then I become unhappy. And then I circle back around to, what, I was really happy at about this size and
Hmm.
about this. But, for me, it's not the revenue number actually that leads to much of my dissatisfaction. It's the number of employees we have.
Yeah, more people, more problems.
Yeah, yeah. Biggie got it wrong. It's not more money, more problems. It's more people, more
He did.
problems.
He was not right.
Hmm. He was
Yeah.
not right. No, it's
Yeah.
more people, more problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love people. I love my team. I enjoy them, but you lose the fidelity of communication as your team grows, and it's something that I struggle with as we've scaled from 8 to 12 to 18 to 30. And that to me is the counterbalance of growth, and why I think it's an outcome. Growing further, if you're not a great leader, and I hate to say poor because I don't like to deal in the negative, but if leadership is not your strength, as you grow, it actually exposes the leadership characteristics or
Yeah.
weaknesses that you have. And being a great clinician doesn't help you at a certain point. Like what got you here won't get you there sort of philosophy.
Yeah. There are all sorts of leaders, and a huge part of what ACT does, what I do, is to help build stronger leaders. And I would say the best leader truly is one that is self-aware, and there is a bite of humble pie that comes with that. And being able to recognize, why am I making the decisions that I'm making? Am I chasing? uh, how is this chasing impacting the people around me?
Mm-hmm.
And you oftentimes need someone to help you step back and reflect and see those ceilings that you don't necessarily see. And with that, you build more self-awareness and more self-awareness, and that grows you as a leader. Helps you be a more clear communicator. And those things are super important. I like to say clear is kind. And when a leader is able to, with confidence in all of their truth, clearly communicate what is important to them, the right people will follow it.
That's right. Very well said. Gosh, yeah, that so well said. And it's such a treat that you're out there fighting for the dentist to enjoy the walk, because that's I think that's where it's at. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jenni Poulos, lead practice coach, director of marketing at Act Dental, and I'll put a link out to your email and a link to your bio. We'll get that updated. You said it's a few years old. We'll get that bio updated. Yeah. But I mean, thank you so much for your time, and it's been wonderful to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy being on the walk with you.
I know, right? And talking about Napa, we're gonna have to go out to Napa soon.
Absolutely. We'll see you
Yeah.
soon. All right, Eric. Thank you.